Okay, is Raquel returning to Vanderpump Rules? Is she not returning? Has she struck a deal? It looks like there's a little bit of gray area here, right? Because I was originally hearing, I guess the expectation is that Raquel is supposed to be returning for the big cast trip to Lake Tahoe that's coming up next week, right? All hands on deck, all cast members will be there. Now, it was presumed that Raquel was supposed to be there, so then that started getting circulated. I posted about it because, again, that was the expectation, is that Raquel was going to be returning. Now, it looks like her rep, though, is like, hold on, wait a minute. We are not officially in agreement with that. We haven't fully agreed to return to the show. So it looks like there's a bit of a standoff. My understanding is production and, contract negotiations were at the very, very tail end, with the assumption that Raquel was going to agree to the final terms and that they were going to be going into filming next week. My understanding of it, okay, it sounds like they want some sort of guarantee with Raquel. Now, a lot of contracts in recent years, this isn't specific to Bravo and it's not specific to Vanderpump Rules necessarily, but a lot of contracts have changed and they went from seasonal salary contracts to either episodic rates or per scene rates, meaning, and this was mainly just to make sure that people weren't just collecting a paycheck and not really bringing anything, right? They had to have storylines, they had to film with other cast members, they kind of had to get in the mix. Otherwise, they were being overpaid, right? And they weren't really bringing anything. So this is something that's been kind of shifting over the past few years, because like after Lisa Vanderpump walked off of Real Houses of Beverly Hills midway through the season, or Nene Leakes skipped a bunch of filming episodes for Real Housewives of Atlanta back on her final season. It seems like they wanted to make sure that they prevented stuff from happening, and they wanted to make sure that when you are on the show, you're bringing it every time. So they've changed it to give them an appearance fee per episode or an appearance fee per scene, which I know has been a thing with like the friend of contracts. And it looks like they were offering Raquel some sort of contingency contract of like, you'll make as much, depending on how much you're a part of the show, right? Because they're not going to force Raquel to be on the show if she's not organically fitting with the other cast. So I would understand how a contingency contract would make a lot more sense for somebody like Raquel, who's coming into filming much later, doesn't really have much relationships with the cast, but could make some really compelling television. And then depending on how well those friendships continue to get repaired, then we can have Raquel more in the season and then she makes more money. But it looks like her team wants to guarantee that she's making as much money as possible. And this was confirmed by Page Six for the most part, after TMZ reported that Raquel is still in negotiations technically. It does look like they assume Raquel will be taking whatever their final offer is. At this point, I feel like the network kind of knows they don't need Raquel in order for the season to succeed. It looks like it's already doing just fine based off of what we've seen. Tom versus Schwartz, Sheena versus Sandoval, the potential of Tom and Ariana running into each other. We saw them just at SUR together the other day, not together, but both physically at SUR filming across the room from each other. So it does appear that the show is moving on just fine without Raquel. I've always thought that she's never really been the most compelling piece, that we don't necessarily need her. Yes, she was an integral role in Scandival, and yes, Scandival is what helped bring Vanderpump Rules to the forefront and make it the number one cable show, reality show on cable right now on Bravo. But I don't necessarily think that she is the most compelling piece. I mean, I think if she's going to be coming out of her mental health facility, she's going to be coming out healed and kumbaya. So what are we really going to get from her? Her being, she was dense before. Now we're just going to get dense, dincy, and healed. I feel like that's going to be boring. So no, I'm not interested in that. I do want to know where she and Sandoval stand, but Sandoval can give us that. Depends on whether or not we want to believe him. And then I'm assuming she was going to apologize to Sheena, but as of right now, it looks like she is expected to begin filming next week. I don't foresee her turning down the contract because I think she really wants the camera time and I think she loves the attention. And more than that, I think she wants to reclaim the narrative, right? She wants to get back in people's good graces. She wants to show them that she's not this home wrecker. I almost called her a home wrecking whore, but she's not a home wrecker. And, she just wants to make sure she rehabs her image. So I think regardless of whatever the final terms are going to be, she's going to take the deal either way. I wouldn't expect her to not return to the show. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I think it does make sense that she doesn't get a guarantee and she does get a contingency, right? And I don't know what guarantee they want necessarily, whether it's a set dollar number or a set dollar number and a set number of scenes. Like, we want to make sure she's in every single episode, you know, for the next whatever number of episodes that are going to be picked up for the season, right? Who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, interessante. We shall see. But I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing her come back for the cast trip and kind of facing everybody. But again, I just don't think we really need her for the show to be successful. She came, she did her part, and now we can move forward. Because I don't think, like, what relationships does she have left, and do we really care to see her repair her relationships with everybody? I don't, to be honest with you. Maybe I would love to see her in a Kristen Doty Raquel face off. That would actually be kind of interesting. Or maybe even a Jax and Raquel face off. Because remember, in their final season, or maybe it was the season before, either season 7 or season 8. I don't remember which reunion it was. But they were going back and forth with Raquel because they're like, oh my God, she's so dumb. And then James like, she's not dumb. And they would like fight about it. I actually think that would be interesting to see Jax and Kristen in the mix. I'm ready for it. Also, really quickly, guys, if you are in New York or if you're in that tri-state area, I am coming to New York July 26th at City Winery NYC. You can get your tickets for a live taping of No Filter at nofilterlive.com. That's nofilterlive.com. I will be live at City Winery NYC July 26th. I'm going to be there with the Brav Bros. I'm going to be there with Emily from Housewives Nightcap on Access Hollywood, and Danny from Virtual Reality on Page 6. So, and Steele and Shooter from the Brav Bros. And we have a very special guest that's coming out on stage with us. So get ready. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Get your tickets now at nofilterlive.com. We are doing a post-show meet and greet as well. So you can get those meet and greet packages in addition to tickets to the show right now. Go to nofilterlive.com and scroll down to our July 26th show at City Winery NYC. And I will see you there. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe on your way out. All right. Ciao for now.